Welcome to episode 5 of Modern Marketing TV. Today's guest is Cain Ransbottyn. Welcome, Cain. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're definitely welcome. When I wanted to invite you, a lot of people said to me, "Yannick, this could be a big mistake." And on the other side, of course, there were a lot of people who said this will be a mind-blowing episode.
What do you think?
What I think it can go both ways. But let's start with what people who watch this show should know about you.
First of all, they should definitely not look into Google because Google is always lying, and what's on Google is definitely not true. The only people who really know me is actually my family. Not even my family. My two daughters know the real person, and I think my significant better, which is my partner in life, knows me very well, and all the rest they hear stuff and they see stuff. They Google me, but that's not true. So. Actually, what should they know? They should only know what I allow them to know.
And they should probably not follow you on Instagram then.
I have so many fake followers already, so I don't need more followers.
Okay, that's a good one. I always start with a very open question. And
I always start with a gin tonic.
Yeah, that's you were actually the first one who requested a cocktail to join the show. So
because we're not getting paid to get in the show, at least I want my cocktail.
Okay, at least you got it. But no, let's start with the question: what is modern marketing to you?
Modern marketing. Well, let's first come to the word marketing. What's marketing? Which is a relationship between two people and trying to satisfy the customer. Modern marketing, from my point of view, should be that people are not experiencing the marketing thing. So when you have a relationship between two persons without showing them that you had the intention to, that's marketing. So you cannot sell something if people know that you're a salesman. I cannot marketing something to you if people know that I'm a marketing guy. So if I can give you an experience and a feeling which is honest, and I'll keep on repeating that honest thing, if I can give you that experience, that's what, from my point of view, marketing is.
Okay. It's very clear that you stole that from the quote against the wall in this studio. But
that guy probably stole it from me then.
Okay. Every episode so far had at least, I think, one or two topics in general that we wanted to discuss. We talked about influencer marketing. We talked about inbound marketing. When I was thinking about the topic with you, it wasn't that clear because you have been a little bit all over the place over the last, let's say, 15 years. But you are definitely someone who knows to make money with the internet. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I don't know if I'm the right guy to discuss that, but for the last 20 to 25 years, I've been an entrepreneur. I never worked for an employer, and I probably never will. And I have my few successes, but I definitely also have a lot of fails. And people should know that it's okay to fail fast. In Belgian government, that's sometimes a hard pill to swallow. But I have a few of my successes. And I think mainly most of those successes were based on fake it till you make it. And that's my motto. A lot of people hate it. And a lot of people think it's dishonest. It's not true. But I think the only the only marketing which really works is fake it till you make it, and that's my motto.
Okay, I think you already told me some examples of companies you launched and sold in a later stage. For example, let's start with zattevrienden.be. It was one of the first successful content companies in Belgium. It was actually the LADbible avant la lettre. What defined the success of this first company?
Well, back in '99, when I had my hosting company and when we were hosting websites for the bakery and the butcher around the corner, which was a high success at that time, we saw that we were able to host a lot of files, a lot of pictures, let's call it movies, on high bandwidth at a very low cost. So that was already one of our successes, that we could host whatever we want without paying extra bandwidth. One, and two, we didn't do what our advertisers wanted to do, because a lot of those content websites, they didn't make any true content. They made content, and they talked with the advertiser and they said, is this okay and is that okay? What we did is said, well, fuck it all. We bring our user-generated content.
Yes, Cain, you can swear in this show.
Otherwise, the guy's gonna beep it a lot. Huh? Yes, I can.
Okay.
Anyway, we delivered true content of what people really wanted to see. And for instance, nowadays, if you would compare that to the biggest newspaper in Belgium, HLN, they report issues, they report the news, but they always think in the mind of what can we do and what can't we do. With zattevrienden, we knew that some topics were undiscussable. We couldn't bring them because we would lose advertisers. But we never chose the part of the advertiser. We always chose the part of the consumer. What's our visitor wanting to see? And that's what we gave them. And that's how we, of course, it's easy to say now, but it was back in the years 2000. We were the only big platform, so it was easy for us. But I think our success would be that we brought what the consumer wanted and not what the advertiser wanted, and that we were the first there. Okay. Once you have quite some visitors, you can.
And you mentioned faking it till you make it. How does that resonate for zattevrienden?
Well, to be honest, and few people know that, but not a lot. At that time, and nowadays they still exist, there was the CIM, with the CIM, which is the official analytics or statistics on how many views you have. And they were quite easily to fake because the CIM is just a pixel tracker. And every growth hacker knows how to beat the pixels. So the only thing you needed to do was buying 10,000 of Indian guys, visiting your other website, integrating the CIM pixel tracker, and all of a sudden you were a top 10 website. And well, in reality, we were a top 100 website. But because we are in the top 10 official figures, advertisers will start putting money in it. And other people said, zattevrienden, what's a strange name? But apparently it's in top 10. Let's visit that website. So by faking your traffic, you already had new organic traffic. And the more you fake it, the better you came. And we came in the top 5. We got awards, a fast booming website. But actually, it was all thanks to the Indian guys.
So thanks to Mumbai.
Mumbai is the quicker market.
Okay, so I know you as a very technical growth hacker, or at least you're like you have a lot of coding skills, and you use them for marketing products or services. What are some of the cool experiments you've done over all these years?
Well, I did a lot of crazy stuff. I think one of the funniest technical thing I did was I became a very popular DJ. I hit the Ultra Top 20 in Belgium. I was on M&M and Q Music playing my hits. By the way, I don't know a single thing about music.
How did that work?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll try to sum it up. I went to Fiverr and I said, I want EDM music. I didn't even know what the EDM stands for. Something electronic.
It's electronic dance music.
Exactly. Thank you for that. But I want an EDM sample, or I want an EDM song. So by spending $35, I already had 7. So I put it online and asked them, hey guys, what do you think about it? Yeah, number 4, number 3, number 4. Okay, number 4 it is. And that was my song. So put it on, what was the sound station or some online platform. But we needed visitors. So the same thing as I explained with zattevrienden, we faked the traffic and we had the traffic. But at that time, you're not honest, you're not authentic, people don't believe it. So the only thing we could do is buy that song. So we bought it ourselves. But on iTunes, at that time, that was the only music platform. There was no such thing as Netflix and Spotify. So we had to buy it on iTunes, but you could only buy a song once. So the best thing at that time was then, hey, we need 20,000 or 30,000 songs to be bought to become number 1. So we put it on social media, and if I would be a very popular guy, maybe people would buy it. But of course, I was a nobody. I pretended to be a famous DJ, but I was a nobody. So nobody was buying it. So we had to fulfill it with our technical skills. So we bought for €2,000 at a virtual MasterCard in America, 2,000 different virtual credit cards. Those were.
Can you still do that, by the way?
At the moment, it's no longer possible. Okay. But at that time, it was possible because there was a lot of fraud. Guys like me, but there was a lot of fraud. So you could buy a one-time credit card number and put money on it. So you could do an online purchase without people knowing your real credit card. So we said, hey, yeah, here's $2,000. We want 2,000 credit cards. Okay, fine. So we got 2,000 credit cards. Now we needed to deposit $1 on each card. And we, of course, needed 2,000 Gmail accounts. Trust me, to open 2,000 Gmail accounts, it's quite a work. So there is a hack. I don't know if you know it. Mechanical Turk on Amazon. You can make an easy script to generate 2,000 Gmail accounts. At that time, you have 2,000 Gmail accounts. With the same Mechanical Turk, you create 2,000 iTunes accounts. You link the 2,000 virtual credit cards, and for $2,000 in less than 24 hours, you buy or they bought my song. So in
2,000 times.
2,000 times. Which, by the way, I get as a real author, half of it back, because that it's my money. But more important, because we bought in less than 24 hours that song in Belgium, which is a very stupid country for Apple Music, 2,000 times, I was immediately in the top 10 with my song I never heard myself, which some guy on Fiverr made, and I came in the top 10. The good thing is that at that time, which is still now the case, at that time, Ultra Top will take the best of the top 10 of the online as well. So they put me in the Ultra Top. Because I came in the Ultra Top, all of a sudden, I was on the radio. But because I was on the radio, people really, for some bizarre reason, really liked the song. So people start really downloading it. So it was not a one-time shot. It was a real shot because I came in at, I think, place 16, and all of a sudden next week I was at place 12. So that's the whole thing I'm trying to make the point is by faking the whole thing, all of a sudden it was no longer faking it, but I was making it and I was delivering it for real. And I'm gonna skip the whole shebang, but thanks to that song, they hired me or they booked me as a DJ. I played at festivals for 40,000 people.
Without knowing how to play.
And on my rider, there was, I need a Pioneer DJI 2000. And the only thing I want is the DJI 2000 because that was the only mixer I knew where the power button was. And the only thing I had my USB drive, the thumb drive from Fiverr. They always, every week, every Thursday evening, they had to upload me a 2-hour mix. And on Friday and Saturday, I went to the clubs and festivals. I put in my my thumb drive, started start, and the only thing I had to do on Thursday evening was learning when are the mixes, because when I do my
when is the drop, yeah,
and all of a sudden I mean like this, so I really had to know when the mix was, and that's it. So that's a long stupid story, but just by explaining you fake it till you make it, and once you're there, you're there.
Okay, yeah, that's like a really cool story.
But the music industry is like the same. It's like normal business. It's fake. Our two DJs, Dimitri Vegas and like Mike, they probably know how to make music. Agreed.
They know more than where the power button is, probably.
They probably know more. But again, there are so many better DJs than them, but they don't get the attention because they don't get the attention.
You think they fake it?
I'm quite sure they fake still a lot of their music because Tomorrowland, they don't play live because why? It's all a show and it's all in sync of the fireworks. It's in sync of a lot of things which were predefined, so they cannot do themselves live.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that must be great to play at a festival without knowing how to work with a mixer. But that's cool. Also, next to that, a lot of people know that you have quite a big ego. Who else has a selfish prick as Twitter bio? But
I don't have a big ego. You have just a smaller ego.
Okay, that's a good one. But what gives you, as a marketer or as a growth hacker, what gives you the most satisfaction?
As long as I can inspire people, I'm happy. No.
No one will believe that.
The last, not the last 2 years, but the 4 years before the last 2 years, I was working for a specific retailer, big family in Belgium.
You can't name them?
Yeah, I can't say that I was working for Colruyt, so. And I was inspiring people there, and I started the innovation cell over there, and that was really fun because I had no rules. No procedures, no architecture, no IT relationship, I had no rules. The only thing I couldn't do is bring it in production. And that was fine by me. For a lot of people, they want their pride. They want to see on television, hey, that's what I made. Because what we made in our innovation cell, we could do bizarre stuff, crazy stuff, but it probably will never be in production. And even when it came in production, it was never on my name. I was always in the passenger seat when it was in production, while the creative thing I was in the driver's seat, and that's really the thing I really like to do. I'm that typical guy, not
the ideation and
the ideation, but definitely the
prototyping. And
I have a problem with authority, as you know. So once you put me in a box, I cannot think in that box. I have to think outside the box. It's those typical hype words, thinking out the box, but it's true. I have to be crazy, come with stupid ideas, and challenge people. And when I'm on stage, or when I try to talk to people, or when I try to convince people, I definitely don't want them to be like to agree. They don't have to agree with me, but the only thing I want is when they step outside, they have to think, what a crazy fuck. But maybe there is some truth in the guy, and some people could say that's still inspiring, but I don't have the goal to inspire people, but I have the passion to build crazy stuff and to do whatever I want. Youngsters would say it YOLO.
Yeah, okay, and that's probably something you stole from your $2. But okay, I agree. Also, a lot of people who are watching or listening to this show, they're probably starting up themselves, or a lot of them are managing the marketing of a bigger company. What advice would you give those people on running experiments? How would you structure that, and how do you get the creative juices flowing?
I have two possible answers on that, and I'll try to begin with the professional one. Is that
let's do that.
And now, of course, I'm obliged to drop some of those buzzwords as design thinking, lean startup, and agile. So let's talk about those words. Design thinking is the phase where you try to am I stealing other quotes from the wall?
No. Maybe in some of the books, because I saw you can read the cover of Sprint, so probably you are stealing some design thinking quotes.
Anyway, the first part is the design thinking, where you try to see what's the problem and how we can touch it and stuff like that. In the lean startup, that's where you start to build the right thing. And this was our problem. This is our potential solution. So we built the right thing. And then finally, in the agile part, it's no longer building the right thing, but it's building the thing right.
Okay, that's a nice quote.
Of course it is.
We'll have you on the wall by the next episode.
Right. So, but those, and now we have the three buzzwords, design thinking, lean startup, and agile. But whenever I come in a corporate business, they always say, but we don't do waterfall. We do those three things. We do the design thinking, we do the lean startup, we do the agile. But that's exactly firewall, because they're all different company, all different structures, all different groups. If it's one group, then you don't do waterfall. Then you really do agile. But a lot of corporates say, our design thinking team is busy with it. And after that, then we go for the lean market, for the lean agile. No, you guys should do that all together. And that's thinking. That's, I think, the biggest problem of the corporates, that they read some books, they read some buzzwords, and they said, hey, lean startup, that's what we need. Agile, and design thinking. Now, you guys do that, and we'll see how it works. but it will never work.
Okay. You also advise because what you just mentioned is more for the bigger companies. You also advise like a lot of entrepreneurs and fellow entrepreneurs and startup founders. What was some recent advice you gave people? Can you give some examples of that?
I think what I said is stop trying to find the problem for your solution. A lot of startups come to me and they say, we've got this product. And then other advisors, they say, yeah, but it's not solving something. But I hate that really advice. It's not solving. Well, stop searching for a problem for your solution. If you really think that your solution, again, if you really think that your product is a cool product, go for it. Don't believe all those other mentors. It's not solving anything. Yeah, but that's very typical. But all the big fives, they were never solving a problem. They were there as a solution, and the problem came afterwards. So that's one of my tips: that stop finding the problem.
And marketing wise, if people have to market a product on a low budget, what do you tell them?
Again, when I say fake it till you make it, even being a mentor or even being an advisor can be faked, because the whole internet is on Google. So never invent the wheel again. Small guys, small startups, if they want to try something, if they want advice, don't get the advice of the big guys. Google it, learn from the mistakes, and try to eat your own dog food. Well, if you don't like your thing, if there things are not working for yourself, don't start growth hacking it until it works. No, fix the problem so that you have a decent product, and try to use a lot of those simple growth hacks that for less than €1,000 you can do really a lot on the internet by just Googling it and
knowing how to execute, of course, and being tech savvy.
Yeah, and never go to fancy, expensive agencies.
Yeah, we'll cut that. No, of course, I get your point. Also, one more thing about the fake it till you make it principle you have. Do you think that works on the long term for companies, or? Because probably the reason why I ask it is, yeah, you mention it, but yeah, for you, it has a downside as well, I think I can say, because a lot of people, focus on the faking, but they don't know that you're still making.
Well, that's for me as my personal brand, and that's too bad for them. I have a clear view on my cash account. They don't. But from fake it till you make it always works, even in the long term. But every company has to reinvent themselves, and that's probably also somewhere on the wall of the quote. Every company has to reinvent themselves. But if you put high standards, it's okay as long as they are achievable. Fake it till you make it is not fun. We will beat Facebook. We will be the new social platform. Yeah, bullshit. You will never beat the Facebook. But you can fake stuff which are achievable goals, and make sure you get them afterwards. Even when you put on your timeline the end of Q2, we will have that. You will mention it that you will have it, but as long as you're sure that in the long end you will deliver it. To summarize, what I'm trying to say is that in the long end, it always works as long as you keep on delivering it. Even when you're too late, that doesn't matter, as long as you have achievable goals which are higher than your competitor, but still achievable, then it's fine by me.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks. Again, we already discussed it, but everything growth hacking or fake it till you make it related has a very negative connotation. But I think I can say you're like probably the most non-ethical person that will ever join this show. But if you have to pick one don't for marketers who are watching or listening, what would that be?
That people shouldn't do.
That people shouldn't do. I know that's hard for you.
I think you shouldn't be limited at all. But if you really want me to say never do something like... Again, when I'm doing my fake it till you make it, fake a lot, fake as much as you want, and lie as much as you want as needed, because lying is a very negative connotation. but that's what's marketing all about. And I'm the only one coming out for that. And marketing is actually lying, because there is not a such thing as a washing product washing whiter than white, because it's a lie. And that's what's marketing all about, lying. So, but if you're lying, and as a good marketer you are, make sure that your lie will never come up, and that you can always defend your lie.
And that you can deliver, actually.
And that you can deliver. And maybe as a second thing, never listen to that Gary Vee guy, because he's copying other guys, so you would be copying the copier guy. So if you want to really be authentic, do your own shit and don't do the Gary Vee thing.
Okay, that's quite a bold statement. Okay, we're...
I know you're a big fan of him, but... maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. He's a good guy. So we're nearing the end of the conversation, and I wanted to take one step back and get back to the experiments. You mentioned a very nice story on you, faking it until you made it till Tomorrowland. But what are some other experiments people can learn from that you already done?
I don't know if people can really learn from my experiments, because and that's typically for me, when I'm entering an experiment, most of the time, 90% of the time, half of the experiment, at that time, I know what my end goal is. But most of the time, I started an experiment without knowing my end goal. For instance, we're drinking here now fancy gin and tonics. Cool.
Because you requested them?
Yeah. Also in the morning program, it's it's cool. Anyway, we're drinking gin and tonic, and due to my alcohol problem, a couple of years ago, I said, why don't we do something with gin and tonic? So I started on Facebook by saying that I will live for 10 days only on gin and tonic. Crazy idea, but it was a fun ride. And after day 2, already the brands, the gin brands, came up with a proposal, because apparently you have quite some followers, which I didn't, because I really had a lot of fake
India
followers.
You have a lot of followers.
I have a lot of followers over there. So, but they said, hey, you get a lot of attention over there. So, but we heard that you're a strange guy, so we're gonna put some extra targets. So you get a bonus when you get radio, you get a bonus when you get printed press, you get a bonus if you get online press, and you get a very cool bonus if you get television attention for more than 3 minutes. So, but at that time, I was already at day 2 or day 3, completely wasted. And I thought, this is the way to go. So every morning, I had to make 3 movies. And I was managed by 3 professors. And in the morning, I had to pee in a pot, and they checked my vitals. And at that time, it was still Sven Ornelis with a morning show at Q Music. Yeah. They picked it up. Because Q Music picked it up, HLN picked it up. Because HLN picked it up in print, the online papers, online magazines also picked it up. So at day 5, I was that national crazy guy, drinking and living on gin and tonic only. And those figures showed that I was losing weight like hell. So after 5 days, I already lost 5 kilos. So the international press, like in the Netherlands and in the UK, start writing about that stupid Belgian guy losing weight by only drinking gin and tonic. And nowadays, if you still type in gin tonic diet, you only get results on my experiment. The cool thing is, and then again, now I'm being part of the fake it till you make it. At day 7, in the morning, when I did the same routine and pissing in a pot, the professor said, your glucose level is 41. If it drops below 40, you go in coma and we can never get you out. And I said, but at that time, thank God for me, my partner and my business partner said, okay, we have to stop you. We're gonna put you 1 day in rehab and are gonna stop giving you alcohol. But we take the movies from the day before and we keep on pretending that we keep on drinking. But because I had a very big bonus when we had television attention, I had to keep on delivering it, because that's my part of faking till you make it, because it was a huge bonus. So day 8 and day 9, I was completely sick, detoxing like hell. My body only had for a whole week more than only gin and tonic, more than a bottle a day, and that was the only fluid which came in my body, and no food at all. So we drove to, and that was at Manneke at VTM at Sunday evening, completely, sick. I was feeling disgusting, but I was sober. But they told me, the producer told me that they're gonna do an alcohol test during the show. So 1 hour before the show, I did an adfundum with a bottle of gin and tonic. I came on stage completely wasted, but I had to deliver, and all the brands, they were happy, and I was happy. So that's the whole experiment was actually playing with my own life, but it was fun for me then. And what I said earlier in the show, if you put some achievable goals, you can achieve them. As long as you can achieve them, you can deliver. And I delivered, and nobody knew that on day 7, 8, and 9, I was no longer wasted. I was sick like hell, but I was not intoxicated anymore because my body was rejecting all the alcohol.
Okay, that's a very crazy story. But
my mother should say. My mother should say now. You shouldn't be proud on that but I am proud on that story because it was a fun week.
Okay, we're almost at the end of our conversation, so I want to ask you one more question. It's a bit of a very strange topic to discuss in Modern Marketing TV, but I think some people know that you made quite of a fortune in online porn business, and I always ask people the question like, what will be the biggest marketing trends in the next 10 years? And it's very, very strange, but a lot of these trends are always picked up first by the porn industry. So what learnings from the porn industry can you share that companies should adopt for the next 10 years? For example, VR, porn was the first industry to pick up virtual reality. What's your take on that?
I think the biggest changes, and 10 years is way too far, because we're...
You live day by day.
Live day by day. That's at least what the doctor says. But I think the biggest changes will be, and it's the hype word, privacy. And everybody will now say, "Oh, again, that boring thing is privacy." But my view on privacy is, and let's go back for a few years. A few years ago, all marketing companies, they wanted to be on your desktop. First, they wanted to be on your email box, but nobody reads their email anymore, or spam filters are preventing marketing people to get in their inbox. So they wanted to become on the desktop. Then they wanted to become on the browser by intruding on the browser, by trying to drop cookies, by reading cookies, by reading your data. The next thing was trying to become on your mobile phone. We really have to push mobile apps. We really have to be on the mobile phone. We have to read all the thing. Other companies are trying to do all your data by using Amazon devices, by Apple devices. That's what, for the last 5 years, Facebook, Google, Amazon, they're all trying to get your privacy. The next thing in privacy is, because everybody says, you have to be afraid of the Amazon Alexa, you have to be afraid of the Google Home, or because they're intruding your privacy. And watch my words, because in 3 years, people will say I was right. The next thing people will do is trying to integrate in your body. They don't want to be on your device, because they say, we want to be on the mobile device because it's 24/7 on you. It's pretty much 24/7 on you, but it's not in you. What every marketing company will try to be is be in your body, in your brains, but in your brains that will be for the next 10 years. But the next years they will try to be in you. All the manufacturers are trying to build stuff, and I'm one of those guys. I've got to implement the chip in my hand. That is something a lot of companies are trying to achieve. They will give you benefits if you give that. Why are people putting their Alexa home in their home? For convenience. The only answer is convenience. Why are they allowing Google to know everything? Convenience. The next thing is, why will people allow chips in their body? Convenience. When I'm entering my home, I just have to put my palm on my door, and my door opens because my chip is in it. It's convenience. I'm a complete privacy pirate, and I'm trying to battle against the whole, or fight against the whole privacy concerns, the GDPR crap. But the reason why I'm already implementing those kind of things is I want to learn and I want to see what's possible and what's not possible. And people will say I'm crazy, but in 3 to 4 years, every newborn will be implemented with a chip. Like dogs, cats, people will have a chip. And that's where marketing guys are heading to. And people are now saying, yeah, sure, right, in Hollywood movies. No, for real. Because people said in Hollywood movies, cars are driving from point A to point B without a chauffeur, without a driver. Yeah, sure. Nowadays, in New York, all the taxi drivers are without a taxi driver because Tesla is driving their autonomous. And that will happen with chips. People will get their chip inside for convenience. They won't have they will have their phone, but they won't have their wallet. They won't have their thumb drives. Everything will.
So you think that people will pay with their hand?
And of course, I'm already paying with my hand because whatever you put on the chip, you can try to communicate with other devices, and that will evolve. This is a passive chip. So it's a near-field communication. It will only be activated if another active device is nearby. But I'm trying to experiment with, and it's bigger, with active chips, and that's very bionic and very futuristic. But that's where the future is, by implementing chips in your body.
So you literally want to hack yourself now.
I want to prevent that marketing companies can hack my website, can hack my email address, can hack my house, my privacy. But I will definitely try to prevent them that they hack all the bionic things. My doctor says, you have a problem with your heart. Maybe you should implement this pacemaker. And all of a sudden, Amazon has access to my heart. It's a funny thing to say, but that's the truth. And once we have active components in our body, which in 10 years everybody will, owning those components, that's goal number one for every marketing company.
Okay, great. I think that's very new to hear that. So thanks for that. So and you had your own agency, your marketing agency, a couple of years ago. Apparently that didn't work out ideally. But what is the ideal marketing agency for you?
Well, it didn't work out for me personally because I had some fights with my partners regarding the strategy and the philosophy of how our agency should work. They're probably right and I'm also right. That's why we split. But I think the right agency is pretty much, and I'm a disclaimer, I'm not getting paid to say this, but I think the best agency would be a combination of different standard techniques, but also the thing you guys do. Whenever I have a client with a small problem, you guys give them free advice for 1 hour, 2 hours. Try to feel the customer, and that's exactly what you're doing with your agency. What I'm trying to do with my other agency. I was trying to come in as a team of fixers and not start billing from day one. Of course, we're all consultants and we're selfish pricks and we're all into for the money. We don't want to make the world a better place. Maybe you do, but I don't want to make the world a better place. I want to earn money. But you can only earn money if your customer is really believing you. And the only way to convince him of to get him on board is by doing things for free. And I think that's an advice for a lot of agencies. When I'm having a problem, or when I'm having a writer's blog or whatever, and I ask some advice from an agency or a consultant, they always come up with their day fee. And that's apparently their only solution to any problem is a mail with their day fee. Yeah. And that's not. You should give me the feeling that you know what you're doing.
Of course, if you know there's something more in it, it's what you said. We want to do it as well, and we do a bit free consultation. But of course, as an agency, one of your goals, it's not the goal, but one of your goals should be making profit and money. and that it's not easy to get on board at bigger companies then. But doing a free audit or something can work indeed. I want to ask you 5 more very small questions. Very small. You can answer very short.
Nude.
No, definitely not. But the first one would be, what is your favorite brand?
Unfortunately, I'm not getting paid to do this, so I really have to answer honest. But my true favorite brand is absolutely Tesla.
Okay. Who's your favorite marketer?
You. Okay. Next question.
No. Who's your favorite marketer? We want to hear that. Do you take inspiration from other people?
I'm definitely not a loyal guy. I can be inspired by other people. But not it's because Gary Vee copied some cool quote from somebody else and made him Gary Vee-ish. Then from then on, that will be my favorite marketeer. No, I can relate to that, and I can feel, and I can be inspired, but not by a person. And the best marketeer, unfortunately, the best marketeer is Google.
Okay, bold statement. What is your favorite marketing campaign of all time?
A favorite marketing campaign? Mine or a public one?
Yeah, it would be classic Cain if you picked one of your own, but you can pick any marketing campaign in the world.
I think the best marketing campaign was me coming in at one of those fancy podcast shows as a cool marketeer, because everybody now thinks I'm a cool marketeer.
Oh, wow, I knew that one was coming.
But to be honest, that's what it's all about. Like I said, I was working for that non-specific retailer, Colruyt. I didn't know anything at all about retail whatsoever. They only hired me because apparently they haven't Googled me yet. But they just said, man, we need the elephant in the room, so kick some ass.
Break the internet.
Break the internet, break a leg. Which I'm very good at. And I did. But by working there, you adopt really a lot. And you're at the high level. You're talking to the right persons. You're the external consultant. They all feed you with all the data. And all of a sudden, after 2 years, I was being asked in Barcelona at the international retail conference as a Belgian speaker of retail. 2 years before that, I wasn't aware how do you write retail. So everything is perception, and that's what's marketing all about. Perception. It's lying. And the same thing goes here. You inviting me here, people who don't know me, and of course now I'm blowing it myself, but if I wouldn't say this, if people were not aware of me, and I was one of those 5 guys being interviewed, that makes me some authenticity. So you created me now as a guy, and that guy knows something. So this is one of my better marketing campaigns from this year.
Yeah, you can thank me later for that. Okay, and next question: what is your favorite marketing book?
This is really an honest answer. All those crappy things, I don't spend time doing that. I don't read at all. I only read one book, and that was Alive, which was at my 5th grade at school, and I didn't finish it because I rented the movie to write the essay. But I don't read books. I do listen to some podcasts. Tim Ferriss is definitely one of my biggest fan. But it's nothing to do with marketing.
Because you heard something about a 4-hour work week.
yeah. And I said I can match that. I can make a 2-hour work week, and I did. So unfortunately, I'm not giving the answers you want.
No, it's okay. You're honest. It's authentic, so I like that.
And probably also because I just like watching pictures and not reading books.
Okay, cool. And then the final question of this conversation is, if you have to pick one trend for the next 10 years in marketing, what would it be?
Multiplied one-on-one marketing. I think you have personalized marketing, but that's still shooting with a small bazooka to a few people. But I think multiplied so many computers, CPU power that Facebook can, for a very tiny piece of a dollar can know so much information of me that they can start targeting me as a person. But they can multiply that by millions, and it's a multiplied one-on-one targeting. And it goes a lot further than just personalized. Because when we do those lazy Facebook campaigns, when you target some people and then some lookalikes, that was hot 2 years ago. But nowadays, I want Facebook to target me because I just said 5 minutes ago something, and that Facebook heard me, because Facebook is always listening. Facebook heard me talking about that, and they should target me without Facebook knowing that they know that about me. And that's, I think, really the future, that they get so much data which they don't know, but that the computers, the algorithm knows it. They abuse it, because that's what they do. They abuse it, but they lose the data as well. And that gives me a confident save as a consumer. Okay, Facebook, you know everything. Too bad, but I give in because it's convenient. But Mr. Zuckerberg doesn't know, and I don't care if Zuckerberg knows it or not. But if the government can ask Zuckerberg to show all the details, then I'm in big trouble. So I have nothing to hide, of course, but but even if knowing that the government can ask information, that gives me a bad feeling. But the future will definitely be multiplied, personalized, or multiplied one-on-one marketing based on data, which is very volatile, which is all of a sudden gone.
But from a marketing perspective, it's a good thing, of course.
Of course,
it's the dream.
And it's a dream. And if it doesn't work now, stop bugging me next week, because you know the data, and you keep on trying. No, if it doesn't work now, then try to get new data. Because that keeping data is wrong. It gives the consumer a bad feeling, but it's bad performance.
Okay, we're at the end of our conversation, unfortunately, Cain. But of course, I want to thank you for joining this show. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for the drinks.
You're welcome. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. And for those who prefer to listen, follow us on Spotify. And I want to see you next week. Thanks again, Cain, and see you guys next week.